Hey everyone, this is Sam and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be showing you the best builds on Tiny Tina Wonderlands. In this video, I'll be showing you guys what I call the dual wield Gunmage build, and as you can see from this footage, I can shoot and cast at the same time and the damage is devastating. But not only can I do this throughout the phase of a fight, as I do it, I set myself up for more success to repeat this process. I guarantee by the end of this video, once you make this Gunmage dual wield build, you'll dominate this game. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and also subscribing to the channel. If you would like to see more RPGs and Tiny Tina Wonderland content from us, you can click on the playlist below or above and you'll find all the videos we've been working on all year long. So let's begin by looking at the key gears you need to do this. So first thing you must have is an SPG that has elemental damage and ideally is enchanted with anything that buffs damage on spellcast. Secondly, you want to get a spell that has repeating cast and also hopefully enchanted by some sort of spellcast element, but you want it with repeating casting with an SMG. If you do that, you will have your SMG in the right hand and your spell on the left hand, and you want to shoot first then cast. So fire off your SMG, and once you fire it off, then hold on to your L1 button to do the repeating cast spell. And you can see you can do both simultaneously, and as the SMG runs out of ammo, the spell should also run out around the same time, so you can do both together, but make sure you shoot first, then cast. And the class and skills you need to get the most out of this style of play is the Stabbomancer, because you want the dirty fighting to increase your critical chance. That's the best class feat. And then from your action skill, you want from the shadows. So when you activate it, you will do nothing but crit damage for 8 seconds. And then you also want to add this with the sneak attack skill tree, which will increase your critical damage by 15%, which makes up for the shortcoming of your ability, evens it out. And then you also want to add this key one, 1,000 cuts, where if you do a crit damage, it's going to build up a damage stack for you up to 25%, 25 stacks. So when you start a fight, you want to trigger the action skill, go into the shadows, and then there you want to shoot your SMG and then follow it up with casting. You do that, you're going to build up the 1,000 cuts very quickly, which is the max stack of 25, as you can see the bottom underneath my experience bar. And once you have done that, even though you're out of your action skill, that 25 stack is going to carry over for about 8 to 10 seconds, which will allow you to, while your action skill is on cooldown, you will still have that 25 stack buff while you're still dual wielding, right, with guns and spells. Now the secondary skills you need to complement this is the arsenal, which is going to buff both your gun damage and spell damage, so that's perfect for the dual wield attack. And then you're going to exploit their weakness as soon as you can, which allows you to do extra damage to enemy with multiple status effects. That's why you want your SMG to have one status effect and your spell to have an opposite. So here I have flame and lightning. And then you're going to go further by adding the contagion, where is when you apply a status effect, there is a chance that it will spread and also trigger a different one if it can spread. And then finally, you want to buff all of the status action you got going on with the status effect damage and duration buff with potent poisons. So when it's all said and done, you start the fight by cloaking yourself, which is going to build up your 1,000 cut stack. Because you're dual wielding, you're going to build up 25 very quickly. And this 25 is going to last for you, but as you're doing this, because you're shooting 2 different elements at the enemy at a high rate, you're bound to trigger some type of status effect because of the sheer output of shots you're doing. And that's going to set them up for more damage and multiple status effects with the 25 stack buff. That's why you can take the enemy down. Now, in regards to your hero points, you want to get as many strength, so critical damage, as possible, and at the same time, you want to focus on attunement. So those are the 2 primary ones you focus on. So you want a very quick skill cooldown, so you can keep triggering the cloaking mechanism. And this 25 stack buff is very important. So you want to start off every getting it first, and then you play the rest of the fight with the 25 buff, so then you can get it again. So do not worry about, hey, what you should do at the start of the fight. You don't have to worry. Just cloak, get your 25 stack and play through it, because you get to keep it for 12 seconds. Here you can see my abilities on cooldown, but I have the 25 stack, and I just melt this enemy with the duel, like, because there's nothing they can do. And make sure when you do trigger the cloak, do not engage the enemy before you cloak, because if you cloak early, before the start of the fight, they actually don't know you're there. So if you do that, you can actually also keep yourself relatively safe for a good 8 seconds. So make sure you spot the enemies, find a good spot, and then cloak up, and nobody will be able to see you. Get your 25 stack, apply all your status damages with all of the buffs, you're gonna be an absolutely nightmare to deal with. And this can be perfectly done with the Stabbomancer class. You don't even need melee. Now the final setup is what to do with the rest of your points. You want to get the Swift Death, so that's gonna give you extra damage while you're walking and shooting, which you'll be doing a lot as you dual wield. And you also want to get Elusive, so that's gonna give you some evasion, and it's gonna allow you to shoot and sprint, so that helps because you're gonna be highly moving. And in regards to your armor, you want to get anything that buffs any type of stabbo or spell shot powers, ideally more damage for the Stabbomancer. And as for your necklace, you want it to buff the element of your spell. So here I have a lightning damage because I know my spell is lightning. In regards to the melee weapon, you can really just get anything that has good enchantment for either action start or spell cast. But the best enchantment you can get for this build is spell casting. Shield is really important. You want a shield that's going to bring you back health when you have a full shield. This is because it's going to be health is going to be hard to come by for this build. So here's the final setup. You can see everything I have put into. I put it all into Stabbomancer. And then one good tip for you is that because of the repeating cast spell, you're going to deal very good with flying enemies with your spells and your dual wield. Because of the repeating cast, it is very easy to just attack enemies in the sky. And you can just hold on to it while you're aiming, right? So once you're doing repeating casts, you're literally just holding on to L1 and R1 at the same time, and then you're just gonna scroll, aim, and pretty much destroy anything in sight. So this kind of aiming is also very easy. And because it's such a high output of shots, accuracy don't matter too much. And you could add in a few melee skills in the Stabbomancer as buff if you want. Like here, eventually I added the buff where if you melee an enemy, you get more gun damage and spell damage. So that kind of syncs really well with the dual wield approach. It's just, for you to do this though, you have to get close to the enemy first, which a lot of the time really isn't worth it because some enemies tend to explode and do a lot of damage as you get close to them. So that's why even though it's a Stabbomancer class, I have focused on building him this way, so he's like a dual wield Gunmage. It's just more effective. Now, obviously there's a weakness. The weakness of this class is HP regen. So make sure you try to get a shield that gives you that, or anything else really that gives you any type of HP regen you take. That's a very important secondary skill or even primary skill in any of your gear. If it gives you HP regen, you take it because you literally have very, very little health. It's just you shoot so fast and you kill so efficiently. Majority of the time it's not going to become a problem. But I'll show you guys later down the line what the end game version of this build. This is about like a level 27-30 version. But the end game version actually has this HP regen issue dealt with. But it's a lot different from what you see here. So I'll show that in a later video down the line. But if you enjoyed this, make sure you add a like. It will help out the channel a ton. If you got any questions, leave in the comment section. As always, thanks for coming by. We appreciate your support. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying content from Gushi and Dutchy too, now that this channel is a free man job. So yeah, happy you're here, and we look forward to speaking to you guys again very soon. Cubo.